Before we jump into the actual topic of this episode,
The VFAL team would like to thank everyone who has supported this project so far.
We appreciate you all very much.
Hope you'll continue to enjoy the series as well as the other contents we upload on our channel.
Thank you, BFAM!
the usual reminder regarding captions and the description applies. Do blind people think the same series? Episode 3. What do the people in our community prefer to be called? Well, time to find out in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, my name is Maria Teresa.
Arman,
Alia Maclit.
Carl Max,
Chris,
Marco,
Alejandra.
Joshua D. Pineda.
Jasmine,
Christian,
Visually impaired ako since 2012. Since birth.
before ako mag 3 years old.
year 2015, year 2018.
Inborn akong blind. Di mature ako.
9 months old.
Since birth, partially blind.
congenital, it was at birth. Reviewin natin kasi tatlo siya. Diba? You have people first language or person first language. You have identity first language at saka yung combination ng dalawa. Yung parang compromise between person first, identity first, tsaka yung parang hybrid. Or just for context, yung person first language, yan yung you put the person first. So parang persons with visual impairment. Tapos yung identity first language, it's where you see the disability as part of a person's identity. So hindi siya add-on to na parang with. So yan yung recta na parang you call them blind, deaf, disabled. Tapos yung hybrid nun, yung tatlo, instead of saying with, you say who. So yun yung third, yung hybrid. So person who is blind, person who is deaf, person who is disabled. That way, you're still using person first language. Tapos you're also seeing disability as part of identity.
Kahit ano, depende sa trip ng tao. I mean, well, kung tatawagin mo ang bulag or blind, okay lang. Tsaka, kahit naman anong mangyari, tawagin ka man nilang bulag, totoo naman eh.
PWD, person with disability. Okay lang din yung VI, visually impaired, blind.
Wala naman kasi talaga siyang kaso. Ang nangyayari kasi, una, depende yan sa kung paano tayo pinalaki at lumaki. Pangalawa, depende yan sa pagdadala natin ng sitwasyon.
Preferred sa akin yung visual and kasi yan ang kilala sa PWD. Depende naman yan sa tao kung isutuloyin kanila o ano.
Nasa tumatawag naman pero para sa akin, mas okay sa akin kung person with disability.
Kung ako yung masusunod, ayoko nang i-label ako as may disability. I-label niyo ako as a person.
Okay naman sa akin tawagin visually impaired, tawagin blind, tawagin bulag. I don't care. Kasi totoo naman.
Prefer ko yung politically correct na term yung low vision, light perception, legally blind.
Okay lang kung BI kasi talagang yun naman ako eh. Low vision is fine.
I think yung sa mga labels siguro much better kung i-define siya more specifically sa mas wider audience.
When it comes to visual impaired, marami kasi misconception kasi lang pag sinabi mong visually impaired, anong klaseng visually impaired? Siguro pwede natin categorize by low vision, pwede natin categorize na totally blind.
Blind. Pero there was a time na ayaw comfortable pag sinabihan ako na bulag nung bata ako. Feeling ko kasi alam mo parang insulto yun. Siguro dahil yun yung ginagamit kapag binubuli ako. Pero nung medyo mas nag-mature na ako, parang na self-acceptance ganyan. So ayos na sa akin, basta hindi siya derogatory. So, sa akin, wala lang talaga. Parang kumbaga, I've learned to accept na that's a part of me. So, hindi ko na siya matatanggal. Hindi na ako yung offended na kagaya ng dati.
So I prefer identity first language kasi tsaka yung compromise because I see disability as part of a person's identity.
Para sa akin, part of pag-accept mo sa kung ano ka.
Medyo cringy lang ako dun sa part na person with visual impairment. Generally speaking kasi, hindi naman kasi lahat ng tao kailangan tawagin kang person with... Ang haba kaya nun, sabihin niya sa'yo, yan, person with visual impairment.
Wala akong problem with people who prefer the person first language. It's still very much acceptable. Siguro lang ask. Yun yung like kong sinasabi, like when non-disabled people are asking me kung anong gusto ko, Sabi ko, this is what I want, but alam mo yun, hindi lahat ng tao, ng especially disabled persons, would have the same preference. So tanongin nyo sila what they want to be called kasi most likely they would have an answer.
Exactly, sir. As you can probably tell from the title of this series, we in the VFAL team are perfectly fine with identity first labels. How about our viewers who are also visually impaired or have other kinds of disabilities? What are your preferred label? We are grateful, as always, to the 10 wonderful participants who agreed to share their time and thoughts to us in this episode. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you have enjoyed this video and would like to see more informative and fun stuff from us. All relevant links, including the participants' own channels and the like, can be found in the description box as always. And that is it for this episode. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Do blind people think the same? Let's find out together, only here on VFAL.